Hi everybody, Janette Oakman, artist here. Through getting some of the feedback on some of the videos that I've made, I've said that I'd put a little video together of all the different tools that I use when I'm creating my dot mandalas or any kind of dot work at the moment, Pointillism. I'm pretty new to this. I've only been doing it for 2 weeks and I believe I've created, I think it's about 12 different things now. Very addictive. I absolutely love it. So what is it that you're actually seeing me use? You've seen me use everything from just ordinary lead pencils, and they work absolutely brilliantly. So if I put some paint out so I can show you. Chose a bright colour so it'd be easier for you to see. One of my biggest tools is actually kitchen paper, so that I can clean off my tools. Right, okay, so here's a little board that this is a canvas board. They're 5 inches by 7 inches, and you can get 6 of them for £2 from the Works. I'm not sure if you're not in England where you'd get them from. I know you've got lots of great shops in all your countries as well. But in the Works, this is where I got these from, which is really, really good value. Especially if you only want to create small things or if you want to have a practice. So let's start off with your basic pencil. Most of you have got a pencil in a drawer somewhere. So art doesn't have to be expensive. With this board, I just use cheap paint, acrylic paint from the Works. I gave it 2 coats of paint, and you'll see that most of my canvases I do paint first. I like having all the different colours. So you literally just put the pencil into the paint and then dab it down, and it makes a lovely circle. Absolutely lovely. In fact, you've even seen me do ones where one painting, a sea scene I did, where I actually used 2 pencils at the same time, one in each hand. That was great fun. I really enjoyed doing that. I also have another secret weapon, which I was very excited about. I went into Poundland, and fortunately I've ripped the top bit off. And they had these pencils, and I thought, wow, these are amazing. Now, if you look, can you see how, I'm trying to get it clear for you so you can see. Can you see the shape? It's an oval shape. So these are actually classed as carpenters and builders pencils. If you haven't got a Poundland near you, I actually bought these. These were 99p, sorry, a pound. And I got six pencils. Only used 1 so far, and a sharpener came with that as well. I did notice in my market on Saturday that they had on the stall where it's got all the blokes' tools and everything in it. They actually had the exactly same pencils there without the pencil sharpener, and they were a dozen pencils for £2.50. So it really is a good buy. If you look, you'll see, instead of making a circle, you actually end up with that lovely oval shape or flowery kind of petal or leaf kind of shape. I don't want to zoom in the camera and you won't see everything else. You see the difference? That's absolutely lovely. I absolutely love using that pencil. The key is to make sure you put it completely flat. The same goes with my new toys, which I brought at the weekend. And most tools, actually, you really do have to make sure you put them flat down. But before I go on to the expensive tools, let's keep with the cheap ones. So I was rummaging around the house, see what I could find, and I came across an old mascara. Must be old because I don't actually wear makeup. So I probably bought it and never even used it. But I noticed at the end actually had a nice circle to it. So you've seen me also using my mascara. And again, you know, look at that. That's a lovely big circle. So that's a lovely tool, and I'm just wiping literally off with my kitchen roll. I've got a marker pen as well. I think I've used this, but it was a little bit harder to clean up, so I might not have used it again. But just slightly smaller than my mascara circle. And then, keeping everything cheap, I also have used a cork. Now, I bought these in Wilko's for a different project, and you get a dozen for £3.99. My sister bought some last week for her daughter, but I'm sure they were £3.99. I've only ever had to use one so far, so perhaps, you know, if you've got friends, you could buddy up. So literally put that down. Look at that lovely big circle. Again, just wipe it clean. I quite enjoyed the first time I used this was on the big mandala I did with the blue background, where I did all the dots in the background as well, and it was, oh my god, I love it. I haven't used this yet. I found this on Saturday. Again, I was at the market stall where you buy all your bits and bobs. I think this cost me £1.50, something like that. It's just a doorknob, wooden one. I haven't used it yet, and for me to use that, I need to bigger space for the paint, because it's not going to fit in there. So let's make sure I've got a good lot of paint on there. You know, it really is about looking around to see what you've got, you know. I could have had better coverage on there, but I was just trying to be quick. I've been trying to be clever showing you, but look at that lovely big circle you've got there, just from using a doorknob. Oh, of course, you know, I don't go taking off wardrobes or anything just to do this, because that wouldn't be a good idea. But you know, inexpensive. You haven't got to spend lots and lots of money. I believe with all artwork to keep it as cheap as possible. Another inexpensive tool, you see a lot of people use this on YouTube videos, is your humble cotton wool bud. And they are lovely to use. It's a nice little circle there. I will zoom in this afterwards if you want me to. So that's, and then with that, you'd literally just throw it away. So then after that, you'll see me tool-wise. I've recently brought some new tools. My first things to buy were these two sets. And I'll be honest, I tend to use just one or two of them more than any of the others. I actually don't get on really well with these. I don't know how other people do. I find it very hard to make a nice size circle with them. Obviously there's a knack to it, but that's not a complete circle. That one just about is. I just don't get on with them very well. They're not my favourite. I would pick up other tools first normally. You know, if I wanted a nice big circle like what I've achieved with everything else, if you just put it down straight, look at the size of that, and you only get a small circle like this. Where I suppose if you put it down and maybe roll it a bit, maybe might be able to get a bit bigger, but then you're not ending up with a complete circle. So they're not my favourite tools. Plus as well, if you have problems with arthritis, rheumatism or something like that, I think you might struggle with these. because they're quite heavy, especially at one end, and probably hurt as well if you was to drop it on your foot or something. So not my favourite ones, but you do see me use them, but not very often. Well, these wooden ones, I absolutely love these. Unfortunately, I've got no idea what the sizes are on these. But again, you know, that's the biggest size you get in my set. Again, easy to clean. I say I can't advise you on sizes of those. Now these ones are new. I brought these through Amazon. I bought a set where you got 5 of these ones. You also got the dowels, and you got some transfers as well, and you got a paint palette. Pretty good deal, I thought. Now what I've done is, because everyone's been asking me what size have you used, and I haven't been paying attention, I've actually got my marker pen out, and I don't know if you can see or not. Perhaps if I show you a big one. I've actually been, can you see that? I've actually been writing the sizes down on them. So in future videos, I'll be able to give you a colour code. Now these are weird because I was struggling when I first got them, because I kept thinking, well, they all look the same to me, and it turns out they are. One end on all of them is the same. So where, for example, this one here is a 2mm one. This white one. One end is 2mm and one end is 1.5. But the only problem with that is every single one of these styluses has a 1.5 at the other end. So unless you know what a 1.5 is and get yourself accustomed to that, you're going to struggle with that. So let's try this one. So we've got this one's a 2.5. I like that one. And then flip it over, and you can do a small one really easily. So I suppose you've got that side to it. So these, so I had them all written down. I'm going to edit the video, and I'm going to write down what size they are by the colours. But you've got a 3, you've got a 2.5, you've got a 2, you've got a 1.5 and a 0.8, I believe, or something like that. But anyway, I will actually put that up, and like magic, as I'm talking to you now, you'll actually see a list of what sizes they all are come up on the screen. See? I should be able to tell you, shouldn't I? Right, now these are my new babies, and oh, I love these. I absolutely love them. I was calling them acrylic rods because that is what I'd seen them advertised as, acrylic rods. Okay, but somebody on YouTube, Facebook has actually said to me that they're dowels. So whatever you call them, it doesn't matter. It's what they do that matters. So this is the biggest one. This is a 15mm one, and they're just made of acrylic, and they're lovely. You put them on straight like that, and look at that lovely big circle. Really easy to clean off. So that was your 15mm. And then you got a 12mm, so this one's clear as well. The difference is, my 15mm has got white lines running through it as well, where the 12mm one is completely clear. So again, let's put that down. Absolutely brilliant. See, I felt like it was my birthday when I got these through the post. I knew I was going to get on better with these. So that's your 12mm. And then my blue one is a 10mm. Pretty snazzy, don't you think, with all this lovely design going through them? So, again, this is clean. Now, I have seen that some sets online, this one is actually pink, I think it was. So you can't just go by the colours you're seeing someone using when you're watching all these videos. It depends what manufacturers they got them from. So just be wary of that one. My green one is an 8mm. Just put that there, see that one. It's just so easy to use. And then after that, I've got a 6mm pink one. And then after that, I've got a yellow 5mm one. And then we have a purple 4mm one. And then we have a clear one, which is 3mm. They're nice and easy to hold as well. I do like them. So if I hold this up a bit closer for you, when you look at all of them, the best ones you actually get are from the dowels, the pencils, and the 2 pencils. And the other of them, they can go off shape a little bit, but that could be the way I put it down. But every one of them was right. So I just prefer the dowels. I think they're better. Now, there's other things as well that I've got still to use, which I haven't tried yet. I've seen a lot of people with drill bits. So I went in Poundland and I brought these. I haven't had a chance to use them, so let's have a play, shall we? Hopefully I won't embarrass myself and they're going to be easy to open. Let's have a look. I spoke too soon, man. Is that a button? Ah! Oh dear, something fell off. Right. Okay. So let's put a bit more paint in my pot. Right, so here, gotta put them where you can see them. Okay, so it says here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8-piece wood drills. So this is a 10. Now what I would suggest is that if you buy these that you actually wash them, because that feels manky to me. Yeah, so don't put them straight onto canvases. I'm going to here because it doesn't matter here, but I really wouldn't. I'd make sure they had a good wash. Okay, so let's start from this end. So we've got a 10. I think I'd want to put something around this bit. I think that would annoy me, this bit. My hands feel manky as well. So I've got some kind of a lubricant or something on them. Right, so let's try a 9. Working good. I think you're getting the gist of this one. Is an 8. I like the fact you've got this nice little pot to keep them in. So I really would, if you was to get paint in these bit, I think it'd be quite hard to get it out. And that end bit might thinking of your poor delicate fingers. Right, so this one is a 7. And as they are going down in size, the circle at the end, they're also getting shorter. Oh, get this one up. Right, so this is your 6. You know what, I can take these out in one go, make it easier. So here is 5. Here is 4. And here's a little 3. So even though I'm moaning because they felt really weird, actually they're really good. They've formed some really lovely circles. I can understand why people use them. So you've got a choice. You could do what I did. You can go online, and you can spend about a tenner buying the dowels and the little rods and everything. Or you can go in Poundland. You can buy a box of drill bits for £1, a box of pencils for £1, and you're only going to use one of them. You only need one. Get your old mascara out. That's free of charge. How much are pencils these days? Well, I know you can get a great big box of them for £1. So again, really, really cheap. Or and your cotton wool buds. Well, I bought these in Savers for about £1, maybe cheaper. I've got 280 of them, 280 paintbrushes. Actually, 560 because you've got 2 ends to them. They're also really, really good for cleaning up, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So I'm going to put this aside for the moment. What I want to show you is what I've done in the past, because I thought it might give you some ideas. I don't know about all of you, but one of the hard things is choosing the right colour to use when you're working. So what I did, I made up this little part, because I've got so many different colours. I made up this little chart. Now if you look, this colour background here is one that I made myself, and I painted a few canvases with it. You all haven't seen them yet because I haven't created them yet. So what I did was I got all my different colours out to see how they'd actually react on this colour background, because a lot of the struggle I had when I very first started was finding colours that will actually show up. So you all would have seen me probably painting on a cake board last night, the gold cake board, and there were certain colours I used that I had to take off or go over again certain parts because they weren't showing up. If you actually do this, you can actually see how the colours are going to dry on the background you're actually going to be using. So whatever your background is going to be, if you've made the colour up yourself or you've got it out of a bottle, get a bit of cardboard like I have. This was actually just off the back of some boards. Splash some paint on. When you're painting canvases, leave that to dry as well. And then you can make up a little colour chart of what you'd like there. Also as well, something else that I've created, and you might have even seen this in the background of some of my pictures. When I got my dowels on Saturday, I made up this little board where I've actually used each size, and then I wrote on the end, for example, this one, a big clear one. And then this one, it just says clear. This one says blue, green, pink, yellow. So when I was actually working on the last few projects I've done, I could actually look at the board and think, oh yeah, I want that size circle, and I could just go around and know exactly which one I want to use. So that's a handy little tip there for you. Also as well, when I first started watching videos before I started doing any projects, I actually was watching with the struggle people were having with getting pencil marks off. So here's something for you here. Now you'll see me when I'm drawing stuff myself. You'll see me using either this pencil or that pencil. They are both the same, just different makes. One's Faber-Castell and one is Stabilo. They are both white pastel pencils, so basically chalk in a stick. The great thing about that is that when you use them, so for example, if I just show you there, right, so I've just put a bit of a mark there. You can't see it too well, so I'm going to bring it up to the camera for you so you can see. I have this device in my hand called a putty rubber. Get them in WH Smith or any decent art shop will have them. And they're malleable in your hand, and they're actually great stress relievers as well. Actually, I quite often, not just doing this, but when I'm doing I do a lot of drawing as well. Draw a lot of portraits. As you've probably seen by my videos. Absolutely brilliant for charcoal, pencil, but also on here, because when you've done your painting, you don't want these white lights showing, white lines. So because it's a bit sticky like blue tack, it actually comes off really easy. There's no pressure needed. You see how that's just coming off really easily? So that is a really good investment. I've seen people use cotton wool buds dipped in water to get it off and things, and then you've got to go and paint all your board again and things a lot of the time, where if you actually have a putty rubber, you don't need to. Okay, now make sure I get all that off. Now when I bought my rods at the weekend, it came in a kit, and in this kit I actually got 3 stencils. I'm not a stencil person normally because I draw my own geometric designs, as you've probably seen by my videos. If not, you know, check them out. There's lots of them there waiting for you. But anyway, so these are these new stencils that I got, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant. So I actually did one for the first time on Saturday, a blue one. And literally, I just put it down. I did find out where the centre of the paper was. I'm not going to do that now. So I had a dot in the middle. I lined the dot up with the hole in the middle. And then just keeping this all very, very still, I just used my pencil to go in the holes. Like this one needs sharpening. I'm not doing it all because it take too long. I don't want this video to be too long for you. You literally just go through all the holes. Right, so I've just done a little thing there. Absolutely brilliant. And then you get your paint and get one of your dowels, put that in the middle. You know, I could do it on each key mark if I wanted to. I'm going to be exploring the templates more because even though I personally like to design my own designs, I appreciate the fact that a lot of people like to use the stencils. So I will make a few videos up where I'm actually helping you to find different ways of using your stencils. Very addictive. Oh, I do love this. So again, that was my pink one, which is my 6mm down, by the way. Another tip as well. I wish I'd actually kept a dirty one, but I didn't. I never wash my palette. You might think, oh, dirty cow. But actually, what I actually do is, I leave it so it all goes dry, because I quite end up with pots of different colour at the bottom. If it actually goes dry the next day, and you put your finger in, it actually just peels out. Save a lot of water. You take that ages to get that out if you turn the tap on. Where if you actually leave it to dry and go like that, it comes out. I've got 3 of these. So, you know, it's not a problem for me leaving one overnight. Well, oh, here's another tool I didn't tell you about, sorry. I also have a Sharpie. You will see me use a Sharpie sometimes. Not that I particularly like using on artwork, but with the, for example, the gift bags that I have designed, you can't use one of these pencils on the gift bag because they're metallic, so it just doesn't work. So what I do is I will use my Sharpie. I'm very, very careful with the Sharpie because I know that it might not dry straight away, so be very careful in case you smudge it. And I only ever put a Sharpie mark when I know I'm definitely going to put some paint, because obviously it's a permanent marker and you can't wipe it off afterwards. Okay, well, one other tool that you see me use when I'm designing as well is my protractor. Compasses, rulers, protractor are your best friend for wanting to make up your own designs. Absolutely brilliant. You'll see me working on these a lot, using this in different ways, and I hope that some of you are even try to draw along, copy what I've done, or it inspires you to create some ideas of your own. I always love to hear from anyone who's actually done some of my designs. I think it's amazing that you're all so clever out there. When you're actually watching me working, I'm actually designing it as I go along. I don't design anything before I start working. I don't have any idea of what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, you'll see me make a few pencil marks and then rub them out later or whatever. But that's because you're watching me working as I'm evolving with the picture. Okay? That's the way I rumble. So I hope you found this useful. Also as well, obviously, this is the most important tool of all, and it's paints. This is my little shopping basket. I brought this in pound stretchers for £2.99 the other day, and I thought, oh, what a bargain. And it just about holds all my paints. So what paints do I use? I use Crafters Acrylic. You can see I've got many colours, all different shades. I've got metallic, gold and silver as well, which I absolutely love. Now I have got a few other paints in a different make as well, and these are Artiste all-purpose acrylic paints. That is lovely. Avocado, I really love that. If you saw the little navy blue mandala I did on the other day, that is the green that I used on that one. I managed to get some shades there which I couldn't get from others, so that is why I've got them. Also as well, I haven't used this yet. I'm going to use it later on the cake board to see how that comes about. A matte varnish, Winsor & Newton. I got this from my local art store. You just spray it on. I paid £7.99 for it, but you probably could get it cheaper somewhere else. I wouldn't be surprised if you could. I just like the idea of spraying rather than painting on. Also as well, I haven't used it yet, but in my bag of tricks here, so you can hear me looking. Have I already got it out? I also have something else which I haven't tried yet, which looked quite exciting. Oh yes, here it is. This is a fabric medium. Now, I'm not sure how to use this yet. I haven't looked into it, but apparently you mix that with the DecoArt paint, and you can actually paint on fabric. It's just a case of getting the quantities right, I suppose. So that's something else for the future. So from my little world of paints and and dots and everything, you know, I'll say adios. Thank you for watching.